How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about BBIG, which was up just over 4.5% on the day. Inside of the Discord, BBIG was on the daily watch list. I was saying, you know what? There's a day trade opportunity here. If you can get your entry at support around $2.50, then you want to be able to ride that breakout level all the way to $2.80. And what happened today? We saw a low at $2.47 and we ended up seeing a high at $2.88. If you are not inside of the Discord, I don't know what you're waiting on. But you know what? I won't be wasting any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder, you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is the technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. We want to know what it looks like in the bearish case scenario and as well as in the bullish case scenario. And then we're going to be going on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information. The reason why this is important because it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know the buying and the selling behavior on the retail side and as well as on the institutional side. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for BBIG. Let's see how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at $2.72, being up 4.62%. On the low, it tested $2.47, and then on the high, testing $2.88. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 29.504 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 35.616 million shares. So we did have below average volume on the day, and we did see some strength in the stock though. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is a daily chart, you can see from the RSI down below, it is at 51.56. And then when we take a look at our moving averages here on the chart, we are below the 200-day. We did close below the 100-day, but you can clearly see that we are above the 21-day EMA and as well as the 50-day. So we ended up testing a low around 247, and I wanted to see support hold actually right around 250. So I was only off by 3 cents. But one thing we have to take a look at though, it had quite a strong run up after getting down to 247. Ended up seeing a high around $2.88. So that is quite the move. The breakout level I was looking for was above 280, and we got 8 cents above that. But one thing that we saw was a good amount of resistance, and there was just too much selling pressure. So we ended up actually closing at 272. So going into tomorrow, if we have continued momentum, that's where I want to see us actually retesting, being able to get back above 280 to see if we can make that move going into the 290s. This would be good for BBIG because I feel if we can get into the 290 range, we should be able to make a move going to $3. Would there be selling pressure? Most definitely. That seems to be an area where a lot of traders want to take profits. So we want to keep an eye on that. But if we're able to actually gain momentum above $3, that's where it can get very interesting. Especially if we can get above $3.46, because that's where we can get a potential breakout to the 200-day moving average, which is right around $3.90. I'm not saying that this is going to be happening this week. I want to make sure I'm being clear. I just want to show you guys what it looks like to the upside and if there ends up being more buying volume coming into the play. Now, if we decide to consolidate, of course, we want to have strength staying above 250. But if we end up breaking through 247, which was our low on the day, then we can see BBIG start testing around $2.37. And if that level ends up breaking, then we could pull back all the way here to around 223, and breaking through 223, that's where we see BBIG getting to around 210. So be aware of that. Now let's move on to the short interest information. So we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information for BBIG. Scrolling down on the page, green rows indicate new positions, while red rows indicate closed positions. So we're going to take a look at the recent filings for the 16th. So we have Barclays PLC that purchased 570 shares. We have LPL Financial LLC that purchased 10,510 shares. We also have HRT Financial LP that purchased 35,900 shares. We have the Jeffries Group LLC that purchased 200,000, and we see for puts puts, as well as 200,000. And we see HSBC Holdings PLC that purchased 10,361 shares. Peak 6 Investment LLC. Oh, we already covered that. That was back on the 13th where they purchased 38,223 shares. So when we take a look at the short interest, the off-exchange short volume ratio is at 63.81%, and then for the off-exchange short volume, it is just over 10.32 million shares. Scrolling down on the page, the short shares availability is at 4,000, updated 25 minutes ago, and then when we take a look at the short borrow-free rate, it's at 32.98%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume, we can see for the close of the 12th, it was at 40.70, and then for the close of the 13th being at 63.81. So it is significantly higher. And then taking a look at the short interest percentage of the float being at 15.25%, the criteria we normally look for is 14% or higher. So that shows us that BBIG does have short squeeze potential. Now let's move on to the order flow distribution.
Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for BBIG. So we can see on the inflow, it's at 14.22 million. And then on the outflow, it's at 17.13 million. So we had an outflow day. Taking a look at the breakdown, on the large, it was 0.19 million. On the medium, it was 9.79 million. And then on the small, it was 4.24 million. Taking a look at the outflow side, you can see on the large, it was 0.45 million. On the medium, it is 11.59 million. And then on the small, it is 5.09 million. Taking a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you can see for today, May the 16th, we end up having a negative outflow of 0.26 million. Analyzing the numbers even further for the small scale orders that tends to represent the retail side, we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at what happened on the medium, we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at the large represents whales, institutions, and funds, we had more selling than we had buying. Like I said, it was an overall outflow day. And then when we take a look at the turnover ratio, it was at 15.83%. So this is not too bad for a volatile stock like BBIG. But one thing that is clear, the stock is dealing with a good amount of selling pressure. But we do see, as far as from the order flow, there has been some interest on the retail side. And as we get closer to the date of the 18th, we can continue to see this selling pressure continue. Now let's move on to the final thoughts, and we'll go over some more details as well. So for my final thoughts for BBIG, when it comes to the price action, we want to see if support can continue to hold around 250. We also saw a low around 247. So if we test around 245, I want to look for a bounce. If we don't get that bounce, then we know BBIG can sell off and start going around to the $2.20 range. So I want to make sure that you're fully aware of that. And with the volatility we have had leading up to the 18th, this is very possible this could occur. But here's the thing. If we end up having some strength and we have some more buying coming into the play, because keep in mind, we did have low volume. I was expecting a bit more. But if the buying does come back in, as far as for the FOMO wanting to get those cryptide shares, then we could possibly look forward to seeing BBIG making that move to $3, which is a key level. We saw a high at $2.88, so that is not too far off from 3. But do know that $3 will be a psychological level. Many people will be looking to take some profits and so forth. But if we have the demand in the market and the buying pressure is there, then we want to see BBIG being able to get above at least $3.50. If you can get above 350, that's where it can get interesting, and see if we can get a potential move around the 200-day moving average, which we know is around $3.90. To expect that for this week, that is a lot to ask, but it would be an accomplishment if it was able to do so. Also, when we went on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership, we can see that institutions have been purchasing shares. And then taking a look at the short interest information, of course, BBIG does have short squeeze potential. So that is why when you have those strong pops inside of the stock, don't hesitate to take profits, especially if you're looking at it as a short-term trade. I want to be clear about this. If you are an investor and you're looking at it for the long term, of course you're going to have a different strategy. But the last thing that I want to hear is saying that, you know what, I'm an investor, but then you start panicking because the stock is down 20 or 30 cents. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. If you want to be in and out of this play, be clear about that. Know your intentions. Do not let the crowd sway your decisions. I feel this is very important to discuss, discussed. And I know as far as for BBIG, it's a volatile play, and the last thing that you need is to be bag holding. Take advantage of those pops. It has been so consistent. Many opportunities to make money. A lot of people that were crushing it inside in the Discord. And like I said, as far as for a day trade opportunity, it did very well as far as what we had planned out. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I can't wait to see how the stock performs going into tomorrow. We'll talk soon.